DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at ya here for another NorbCam Roundtable. I'm very excited, as we all should be, coming off of that huge win over the New York Jets as we push through the final 3 games of the regular 2020 season. Every game is like a playoff game at this point, right? Because nothing is set. Everything is up for grabs, but it all starts with next Sunday on the road against the Washington football team. So I can't wait to break this Jets game down with the roundtable and also talk a little bit about the opponent to come, who right now looks red hot and very dangerous. So it's going to be a good show. We do have trivia at the end. Thank you to the KC Sports Nerd for providing the trivia for this week. So I can't wait to get into that as well. So before we jump into the pit here, let's just I want to remind everybody, please, if you wouldn't mind, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it because I'm on the verge, or I should say I'm on the quest to get to 50,000, and I'm really close to it. I'm within, I think I got 45 something, so it's only a few more to go. So help me get there. I'd love to get there before the end of the season. That would be a huge, fantastic a milestone for myself. So I appreciate all of you guys who have been there supporting me all the way. Without further ado, let's go to it. Roundtable. Here they are, guys. We are missing a couple of the Roundtable members. Unfortunately, Brian Abker could not make it due to a work conflict, and Seahawks Martin also had some family issues to tend to. So we are a couple members short, but that's okay. We're still going to bring this thing like we always do. So let me reintroduce to everybody, for those of you who are new and haven't met everybody here, this is the Roundtable. Starting at the top left, we have Coach Bill Marsh. Good to see you, bro.
Hey, how are you tonight? Yeah, it's good. Great to see you. Great to be back. Man, it seems like the weeks are flying by, and now we're getting ready to start talking playoffs and everything else. So
absolutely. And may I say, your studio setup, every time we do a show, it just kind of gets a little bit better. And I love the Seahawk glowing emblem behind you with the footballs. I like it, man. It's looking good.
Well, it speaks to playoffs, right? And it's not a virtual thing. It's the real deal. I have to allow me to have that and have it on my backside. So there you go. I talk about it, I'm gone.
Yeah, that's all right. Technology. It's just what we were just rolling with
back, it. But what I'm trying to do is kind of treat your channel, what I'm doing with you, the same way I would take my team through a season, right? Start peaking by the time we get to the playoffs. So started off slow, but I think we're getting momentum on the virtual look and the online YouTube look.
Hey, it's all about it's all about making steps, improving everything as we can, and learning from everything that we do every step of the way. So, anyways, good to have you on here. Let's go to the right here, top Thanks, right man. Corner. Yes, Noah Boelter, aka DJ Squabs. Good to see you, man. Looking good as always.
It's my pleasure, man. Just got done with my finals week. It's been super stressful. I'm just excited to finally stop thinking about school and start thinking about sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, last but certainly not least, we've got Steezy A. Smith down at the bottom of the screen. Always good to have you, man. Looking good. I like the crispest colors with the red tie and the jacket. Looking good, man.
Thank you. It's really cold in the garage, so that's why I was like, I got to put this jacket on. I didn't intend to have this on, but
hey, you know what? It looks good. I like the colors. At least accents, and is very appropriate for the holiday season. So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So just a quick reminder to everybody. So if you guys want to, you already have been blowing up the chat. Continue to do so. If you want to really get our attention, do that super chat thing, and you'll definitely get your comment recognized. I'm excited because again, we're always trying to up our game. And so I'm pretty excited here. I got my version 1 Alexa device here, right? Oh, don't talk. It's not your turn yet. I've got her hooked up through some very cool technology that anytime if anyone joins the membership or if they do a super chat, not only will it show up on the screen and they'll do the little chime, but This speaker here, baby, will actually say something and actually announce the fact. So it's kind of cool that it's actually going to be a little interactive. You have some control over what happens on the set here, so it's pretty awesome. So hopefully it'll work. And once the first one comes through, we'll see if the technology doesn't fail me. But it did work last time when I did my little Madden thing. So, all right. That's the way to kick it off to start. So let's go right into it here. Huge win against the New York Jets. I think it was everything we wanted and more. I don't know if none of us, I think we'll go into the score prediction review a little bit later, but none of us had us getting 40 points on these guys. So I think it was everything we'd hoped for. Let's get kind of like the bird's eye view from each of you guys and just kind of give the overall impressions of what you saw from the Seahawks on Sunday. Coach Marsh, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so here's my hawk's eye view, as I would say. I talked about the other day how I really wish we would have faced a team that was a little bit stronger than the Jets. I mean, it was great to see us do exactly what we needed to do. A get right game came in the right time. At the same time, again, if we could have faced someone that was a little bit tougher because they're just not a good football team at all. I mean, they're historically bad, and they're coming off a game where they fired their defensive coordinator and such. And their field goal kicker misses 3 field goals, and now he's looking for a job. So flip side, great to see that we did do what we had to do, right? What I loved for the most part, and this is what I'd end on, is, we keep talking about Russ cooking, right? I always say it's let him work in the microwave, but cooking is doing all the fast paced stuff that I know you really love. When he goes 21 of 27 for just over 200 yards, 4 TDs and 1 interception, that's the type of game that leads us to Super Bowl victories and gets us to the Super Bowl. It's exactly the type of game I want to see him play. Then Jamal Adams did his thing on our defense, and our special teams is doing their thing. But if everything's revolving around Russ, like our town falls for, seeing him play that way and doing those type of things, that's how we're going to win, because it means short passing game's working. He's high percentage. He's scrambling. Running game's working. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, and you brought that stat up at the last show, saying about how when he was throwing all over the place for tons of yards, we actually had a bunch of losses, and when it was that contained, low yardage, efficient, we had the wins. And this game proved that. It was a 40-point win, and yet his numbers didn't have to be that staggering. So it just goes to show we don't have to score. We don't have to throw 50 throws in order to score 40 points, right?
We had a quiz question where we beat Arizona, 50 to something, and
58 to nothing.
How many attempts did he make? And how many attempts did he make? It was like, I don't know, it was 10 or 12 or something really low.
Right.
So again, he's great. He's better than a management quarterback, but he's a quarterback that can make big things happen when he has to. But I like when he's not always making big things happen. That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
so
totally
keep
makes
it short,
sense.
keep it quick. That's the way I want to see him play.
It's been interesting just to see how the dynamic and just even the trends of how this offense has evolved in just not even a full season, where it went from the cook to the struggles, and now, I don't know, it's almost like we're finding a new identity again. Squabbo, how about you? What was your overall impressions of this game?
I agree with Coach Marsh. I thought everything was working for us. Defensively, their leading receiver had 3 receptions. There were a couple guys tied for that, but anytime a team's leading receiver has 3 receptions, your defense is doing something right. We beat them in the sack game. We had better than 50%, and this is a big Steezy stat. Steezy looks like a newsman down there. Looks very sharp. I like the red. Steezy's always talking about how good we got to be on 3rd down. Well, we were better than 50% on 3rd down this week, and that was a big improvement for us. I'm sure he'll allude to that in just a moment. But Russell Wilson, offensively, the key that I was talking about before the game is he needs to be more decisive. And in this game, Russell Wilson got his confidence back. And apparently there are 2 things that'll do that for Russell Wilson so far this season. Number 1, bringing out the lime green uniforms, and number 2, playing the New York Jets. Because in this game, he was taking shots. He was taking risks. He was trusting his guys in one-on-one matchups, and that's actually what led to his interception in the end zone when he threw it up to DK. But while, yes, he was a little bit short on the ball, I like the idea of throwing it to DK in a one-on-one, so I can live with that interception. I think this was a really good game, and I think Russ led the charge. I think our rush attack was good. Chris Carson didn't have as many rushes as Carlos Hyde, but he had 10 more yards and a touchdown, which shows how explosive he can be on limited reps. We're supposed to get potentially Greg Olsen back maybe this week, if not the next couple of weeks, which is a shocker. So lots of bright signs for Seattle moving forward, and this is exactly what we needed. I'm pretty satisfied with having another bye week at this point in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. That was like another bye week. The fact that they had the second stringers in before the end of the third quarter was awesome to see. Just to know that, okay, we don't have to worry about anyone crucial getting hurt in a garbage time game like this. So I'm glad they made that move so quickly. Steezy, your thoughts of the Seahawks win over the Jets on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. It was our largest blowout victory since 2012, and that was 8 years ago. Rarely do we ever see, a game where Russell Wilson has to go to the bench. And, I've never seen Geno Smith play in a Seahawks uniform. The only time he's put on a Seahawks uniform and actually hopped on the field was, for that coin toss. And so, that was great. Jamal Adams set the record for the most sacks by DB with 8.5, breaking Adrian Wilson's record set back in 2005. It was the first time all season their offensive line didn't allow a single sack of Russell Wilson. I think Geno Smith took a sack, but Russell Wilson didn't take any sacks. And so, squad and coach, you guys hit on all the points. Running game was working very well. Chris Carson averaged north of 6 yards to carry. Carlos Hyde, he was doing his Dougie. DK Metcalf, happy late birthday to him. His little touchdown celebration after his touchdown was fun. And then, defensively, we had 3 dropped potential picks. And so, we could have been a lot better on I guess, catching the football on defense. But, there are DBs and defensive players rather than wide receivers for a reason. So I can't fault them too much for that. But overall, we all expected a blowout. We finally got a blowout. And I remember DK talking pregame about how against the Giants, they were taking the Giants pretty lightly. And I'm just so glad that we didn't take the Jets lightly. And I hope that we don't take the Washington football team lightly. But and then as Noah already brought up, we were 5 for 11 on third down for a conversion rate of 54%, or 6 for 11, my bad. And while, we were over 50%, I think some of us were talking about how we wanted to see that number around the 60s and the 70s against the Jets. But, we'll take what we can. On the season, we're only averaging about 38%. We're converting about 38% of our third down. So 54% is a huge step up. And overall, I loved every minute of the game. And this was actually the first time all season where towards the end of the game, late in the fourth quarter, I was like, I don't even need to watch the game anymore. I could just, chill and relax and kind of, watch a different game, pay attention to fantasy. And it's been a while since I've had to say that. So overall, it was a quality win, but it was the Jets, the 0-13 Jets. So I don't want to get too hung up on that. We can't let our highs get too high and our lows get too low. So on to the next.
Well said. Sounds like a head coach talking right there. Or Russell Wilson. Get too high, get too low. Just stay neutral. Coach Marsh, I think young Seahawks Martin is waiting to get in. So check the the waiting room, and we'll pop him in there and get his thoughts on this game once he's ready to go. My overall feeling is like all you guys said. I went into this feeling like this could be a no-win situation in the sense that no victory may be good enough to be high score. And there's Seahawks Martin. Hey, welcome back to the show, man. We missed you. We missed you, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. Can't wait to be back and talk with y'all.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you back.
Norb, this is ceremonious for me, man, because I have been waiting since I started the show to be on with one. No offense to everybody else. There's one guy I wanted to be on the show with, and now we finally are making it happen.
Awesome.
Can't wait to be on the show with Seahawks Martin, man. My day's been made.
Thanks, Coach.
This is the first time you've been on screen together?
This is it, man. I've got so much to learn from this guy. And, I've been watching all his videos and everything else. His content is fantastic. He's just, he reminds me of myself when I was, probably 20, and he was, I think he's 18 or 19 right now. So smart, way ahead of your time. I wish I had your brain power and knowledge and everything when I was your age. So, man, glad to have you on the show, and glad to have you be a part of the show with you. I'm joining you, not you joining me. So, very cool.
All right, fantastic. This is a very momentous moment. Hey, I just want to shout out the Casey Sports Nerd, whose trivia we will be answering later today. He just joined the Norb-Fam membership, so congratulations, man. Good to have you on here. So going to have a lot of fun in the Norb-Fam world. So thanks for joining, KC Sports Nerd. Since we're going around the horn, Martin, are you ready to answer some questions about this game against the Jets? Wanted to get everyone's kind of just chimed in with their overall vibe. You want to give your take on it?
Yep.
Go for it.
So, I mean, it was a good game overall. I get it. It's the Jets. Some trolls will say that we won because of the Jets. But I'm happy that we, like Calvin said, we did not take them so lightly and not play down to their level like we did against the Giants. And Shaquille Griffin did point that out. I love that the backups had to come in the third quarter. Jamal Adams was playing amazing. And, I mean, it was just a beautiful game. I love dropping 40, even if it's against the Jets. And it's finally good to see a blowout for once instead of, like, games so tight in the fourth quarter where we're just going to have heart attacks. Not me, because I'm too young for that. But, I mean, Russell Wilson back to his old self with 4 touchdowns. I love seeing that type of Russell, that vintage, good old MVP-style Russell. And then Chris Carson did really good pounding the rock, too. And so, overall, it's just a great game. I hope we can play just like that against Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love you're 13, right, Martin?
Yeah, I'm 13.
Seriously? I swore I thought he was 22.
Not a good-looking 13-year-old, though.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? I love the fact, though, a 13-year-old is talking about a vintage performance.
Man, it's awesome.
And going on in all those years of watching football, it's nice to see a vintage performance. I love it, though, because it is. It really was the feeling like, oh, we haven't seen this in a while. Where's this been for so long? But that's awesome.
He was Seahawks Martin. Were you strolling into kindergarten a few years ago? And just like, man, those Seahawks were brutal today. I'm not going to recess. I'm going to sit inside and analyze it.
I was kind of like that, except I didn't skip recess. Recess was awesome. So.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Martin, it's awesome. I love the fact that you are one of the most intelligent young Seahawks fans that I've ever met, and I used to call you the walking encyclopedia. Now we've had a few trivia games that wasn't quite backing that up, but no, nobody's perfect, right? Even Wikipedia gets some things wrong once in a while. But that's what I love about this, is just getting a different perspective. So from my perspective, I was starting to say was that I felt like this could be not a trap game, but not a win-win game, because I thought, well, this is what could happen, is that we could win and it's not big enough, so people are just going to feel like, you didn't beat them by enough. Yeah, we won, but we didn't win by a big enough. We're not good enough. And then of course you lose. Then it's like the world's coming to an end, right? So it's almost like nothing would be good enough. But to put 40 on them, I think everybody felt pretty much like, okay, that was maybe even better of a whooping than any of us expected. And our scores reflect that. But yeah, it was just good to see. Like you said, Russell doing Russell type things. We did have that early interception of Coach Marsh on the Coach's Corner earlier this week. Actually broke that play down, discussed a little bit more detail about what he liked and didn't like about that play. But if you're going to throw an interception deep in the end zone to DK Metcalf is not a bad way to go. If you're going to have to go there, I would just argue that, DK could have fought a little bit harder for that ball. I think if he just needs to use those physical skills and know in his mind, nobody out there can cover you. Nobody out there can out-jump you, and nobody out there can out-physical you. And if he goes into that, every ball that's up there that's a 50-50 or even a less than a 50-50 ball, that should be his. I don't care who he's going up against. That ball should be his every time.
Kind of like that DeAndre Hopkins mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Like DeAndre Hopkins, when he went to get that ball, when it was the Hail Murray play against the who was it against? The Bills. There was really the odds of him coming down with that with all those guys around him. I don't know what the percentages was, but he just went up there and owned it, right? He high pointed it higher than anybody else, and DK could out jump that by at least another 6-7 inches. So I want to see D-Hop attitude in DK every time the ball is up in the air, and because I was playing some Madden, man, and I had a few DK moments where he didn't go for it, but when he did, he was the biggest guy in the field. So anyway.
Well, he's going to start getting the respect of the officials and everybody else, where if he just bodies up and goes high point it and lets the other guy, shove into his chest or do whatever, he's going to start getting pass interference calls and other things. But if he's still doing the push off, he'll never get the call, because now he's battling. So you can't call defensive pass interference when you're pushing off as well, even though he did get a defensive pass interference called against them last week, when he was the one who I think did most of the mauling before the play took place. But he's going to get the respect when he can pull those off.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's a lot of, you can just keep showering with positive things. I want to hear a few of maybe your top things that you really liked about this game? I mean, we already talked about Russell, but maybe a couple of key things that maybe you weren't expecting, or things that were just sort of maybe not as quite the headline type of things that you really thought was, this could be something the Seahawks could build off of. Granted, it's the Jets, but it's something that you go, okay, I'm glad to see this positive thing happen in the game, the not so obvious one. And then I want to go to some, flip side stuff that maybe we didn't like so much. Coach Marsh, why don't you start, again, just kind of a couple of your top things that you really liked about this game that maybe not everybody noticed.
Well, I really like, again, how the offensive line is starting to come together. Of course, there's times where it looks like, Russell's scrambling because the offensive line did something wrong or what have you, but I'm starting to see more synchronization. Again, we talked about the other day how they're starting to move in unison. They're starting to step the right direction. And when you get that entire offensive line playing as a unit, it's amazing. And I know Squab will really be able to speak to this as a former center. But, there's just something just kind of magical when you kind of sense either in the huddle or with the guys, you kind of get into a zone as a group. It's one of the rare times in sports I've ever seen where a unit can actually get in the zone versus just an individual. You just know it. The guy to your right's going to do his job, guy to your left, kind of the old, Belichick, do your job. I'm starting to see that. And again, was that a byproduct of the New York Jets? Yeah, of course it was. But if guys are still stepping in the right direction, they're going to the right spots, it opens up the bootleg. So really happy to see the O-line doing that. And I really like how our linebackers are starting to come and make some things happen as well. We're not biting us on, and I include Adams in that linebacker group. It's nice to see them. You want your linebackers leading your team in tackles. That's what you want. It means the front four is doing their job. It means coverage is taking place, doing really well back there. So we're finally starting to hear the guys' names that we need to be hearing making tackles. So O-line being synchronized and linebackers starting to have their names called more often in the playmaking opportunities.
Nice. Squabo, how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. Our offensive line was very much together in this game. We had a swag and a confidence. Every single drive, we felt like we were going to score, and we continued to go down and to dominate that ball game offensively. That was a beautiful thing for us. And if you noticed in the game, we didn't go for it on a single fourth down, and that's the type of game that I want to see us play, where we don't have to go for it on fourth down. We just take the points the whole way, and maybe in the end, the game isn't going to be as close or as scary because we took the points. So I want to see us to continue to take the points like we did in this game. And then the fact that on defense, not only did we only give up 3 points, but they scored 3 points on the first drive and didn't score again. That's a sign that we're back on our coaching adjustment game defensively. We see Brian Schottenheimer offensively now getting looked at for the Houston Texans potential head coaching job. So our offense is singing right now. Our defense is singing. That was our cleanest game since 2012 probably, and the scoreboard definitely reflected it. So just the swag and the confidence was back in that game, and that was the style of football that we need to play moving forward.
Seahawks Martin, how about you? What was a couple of things that stood out to you? Little detailed things.
I like seeing that the offense and the defense just finally play together like good, because throughout the season we saw at one point offense playing super hot and the defense playing like rat poop. And then the next thing you know, the defense is playing amazing, and then the offense is playing awful. So finally seeing the against the Jets, yes, I get it, it's the Jets. But it doesn't matter. I love seeing that our defense played well, holding the Jets at 3 points, and then our offense dropped 40 on them. It's awesome seeing like that, because if we did that the entire season, I think we could have been a Super Bowl caliber team. And then another thing I liked was Chad Wheeler, his block for Chris Carson's long run. I know a lot of people didn't notice that, but after seeing Chad Wheeler's awful performance last week against the Giants, to see him make such a key block to let Chris Carson run,
hey Norb,
like a big gain, it meant a lot, and it was nice to see that our run game was doing.
Okay, sorry.
A bonus to the round table, right? Alexa
just popped in to let me know that Kyle Anderson had a super chat in there. It says, thoughts on the 17th week, is it good or bad for us? And we'll get to that in a second. We will get to that as we look ahead. We got to look at the next game and then maybe a little bit of a look forward. So Steezy, how about you?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of what Noah was saying, just because I wanted to kind of talk about the same thing. we scored 40 consecutive points. You know, the Jets are actually, let me go back and read this real quick. So they extended their streak of scoring on its opening drive to 7 straight games. And after that, I mean, we kind of shut them out the rest of the way through. I know it had a lot to do with their kicker missing 3 makeable kicks. But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, early on in the season, people were talking about how bad our defense was. Well, if our defense was that bad, I mean, you know, it didn't look that bad against the Jets. You know, it looked formidable, even if it was against the Jets. Because, I mean, to hold an NFL team to only 3 points in 4 quarters, and in this game they had Frank Gore, who we thought wasn't going to play. In this game they had Jameson Crowder, who we thought wasn't going to play. And the Jets have had games this season in which they've scored 28 points, 27 points, 24 points, 20-plus points. And so, you know, as abysmal as they are, I mean, this is still an NFL team with a few, you know, with a few weapons at their disposal. And so to see us, that much maligned defense of the Seattle Seahawks, to see us hold them to only 3 points, I mean, that was absolutely, I think, a confidence booster for the defense. And I mean, and once again, we had 3 sacks, and I only asked her a total. We've been piling on the sacks. Actually, we're the only team in the NFL with 20+ sacks since week 9. And as we mentioned in the last couple of weeks, and we're top 5 now in the NFL in sacks. And so to see us kind of to get sacks on a regular basis, I mean, I love to see that. But yeah, overall, I mean, and you guys hit on everything already. You know, on the offensive line, magnificent. So yeah.
It's easy to know. Do you guys see that as a product of us blitzing more and being more aggressive? The fact that we were, you know, jumping up on the sack stat.
I think a little bit. I mean, because the last couple of games we haven't needed to blitz so much to get after the quarterback. You know, we're able to send 4 guys out there and they're able to get the job done. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and Carlos Dunlap didn't play this game. I totally forgot.
Oh, no. No, it seems like he's frozen in time over there.
He's deep in the zone.
Noah might have to reset his camera over there because we seem to have lost his live.
Hey, well, he reset. Norb, I wanted to.
There he is. Oh, there you go. He's back. He's back.
Go for it, Noah.
So, Noah, were you going to answer that question that Bill threw out there as far as the sacks being a product of is it the blitzing or is it just the line play better?
I think it's partially because of the blitzing. I think it's partially because of the meetings that we've been having where we're going over assignments and we're trusting in each other. I think it's truly a product like Brian Apker's was talking about. Camaraderie and chemistry builds over the season, and in an off season where the training camp was limited. I think time is really what's fixing this the most, as well as the fact that we brought in Carlos Dunlap, even though we didn't have him last game. We saw what it's like not having Dunlap for our defense, only getting 3 sacks in the game. And that only 3 sacks isn't a great thing anymore because our defense has played so well as of late. So we got to keep targeting getting more sacks than 3. When Carlos Dunlap comes back, I think we're going to be able to do so. And I think our defense keeps improving. And it's mostly because of camaraderie and chemistry and understanding our assignments rather than, you know, an advantage and play call from earlier on in the season. I think it's a lot of the similar plays. I think we're just able to run them more successfully and not have the gaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I think what I really loved about this was, it's like my dad says during our reaction or our watch parties, run it. And the fact that they did that, they stuck with the run game. They didn't, you know, get cute and try to get too crazy with the let Russ cook throwing the ball and overcooking. You know, we had, what was the running stats on that? We had 174 total rushing yards, most of those by Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde. That's what you want. That's Seattle's identity. And it always has been the identity of the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll. And so I feel like everything that went well for that game all really starts with the run game. I mean, when I played Madden and doing my simulation, my whole thing is I'm going to run Chris Carson. He's my first move, and I'm going to stick with that as long as I can because I know that if I do that, all good things are going to happen. And I think to me, everything around the offense just starts with when you do that, then you start opening up the tight ends, start getting open, then the receivers, just everything else, as we saw in the coach's corner breakdown of so many plays. I think you had the defense jumping, looking, peeking in because they feel like I got to help with the run. And next thing you know, whoop, there goes Tyler Lockett on an end around. Or there goes a little swing pass over to the tight end for a touchdown. That stuff happens because one, you're playing the Jets, but two, you're beating the Jets with the ground game. And when you do that, I feel like that allows all those other things to open up. Wouldn't you agree, Coach Marsh? Wasn't that kind of a theme of what those plays you picked out?
Well, and what you said that was so pertinent there was with regards to the running game, opening up things for players like the tight ends, right? So you get a situation where Russ threw it to 9 different wide receivers throughout the course of the game. 7 of those 9 had 2 or more catches. And Lockett and Metcalf, I think there were 6 receptions for one and 5 receptions for the other. So that is just phenomenal. I mean, that's what I want to see when I'm talking about, rhythms are Russ getting into a rhythm. That's the balance, though, that I want to see with regards to our wide receiver play, making that happen. But it starts, like you said, with the running game. But when we can get our tight ends involved, our running backs involved, and then every receiver involved, and 9 receivers are catching, and our top 2 stars are equal balanced. I mean, who do you stop, right? It's just, that's when we're at our best.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. If you look at the stat sheet and the receiving, it's DK Metcalf, 6 receptions for 61 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Lockett, 5 receptions for 52 yards. Disley, 2 receptions, 23 yards and a touchdown. Freddie Swain, 2 receptions, 22 yards and a touchdown. Chris Carson, 3 for 22. David Moore, 3 for 20 and a touchdown. Jacob Hollister, 1 for 20. Kobe Parkinson, 2 for 16. And then Penny Hart, 1 for 3. I mean, that's outstanding when you can spread the wealth around like that. And everybody's getting involved. Everybody's happy. Everyone's getting their touches, right? You're not just one-trick pony. You can't just stop DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. You got 7 other guys to contend with. That's what's awesome. So I hope that
and we're also getting 9 guys blocking, Norb. We're finally getting receivers, but for one that I'm still kind of getting on a little bit as much as we love them. But when you get 9 guys blocking, and the fact that the guys who are blocking are putting in second and third effort on those blocks, we're turning 3-yard gains into 9-yard gains, 10-yard gains into 18-yard gains, 18-yard gains into 30-yard gains, right? Because we have receivers that are really taking pride. And we broke it down the other day when Swain made that fantastic block sitting in the chair and figuring out how to block on an island, which even at the NFL level, guys don't take pride in it. And as much as we're going to win by running the football and playing great defense. And I know that our 2 linebackers led our team in tackles this last week. So when we get that extra stuff going, along with the basics of what has been our philosophy of winning ever since Pete Carroll arrived, which is run the football, play solid defense, and then, let Russ do his thing that he needs to do when the time comes. That again, I don't want to get overexcited because it was the Jets, but I love the fact that now we're facing a really good defense that I think is going to, set us aside, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we turn the page on the Jets, we can shower the Seahawks with all the great things, but were there any things that you didn't like about that game? It's as I always say, whenever you win, it masks all the bad things because you're so busy going, hey, we won. Let's just forget about all that bad stuff over here. But were there any things in this blowout? Because you think at a 48-3 or a 40-3, what bad could have happened? Yet I think that could be argued. So let's go around the horn and just are there any things that are concerning of what did happen in that game? Let's go to Squabo to take this topic first.
Defensively, I want to see us get more sacks than 3. Offensively, I want to see us be more efficient on third down than 54%, as CZ alluded to. 6 for 11 is solid. It's okay, but we're doing that against the Jets. So if we're doing 54% against the Jets, that's pretty much equivalent to 38% against the rest of the league. So I do want to see us get a better percentage of conversions on third down. Offensively, I want to see us continue to take the points. And I like the idea behind Russell Wilson throwing the ball one-on-one to DK. I think DK could have made a little bit more of a play on the ball, but I want to see Russell Wilson be a little bit more accurate on his deep balls. I've seen him still be accurate at times. It's just not been consistently what it was early on in the season and what we've seen it be when he peaks. So I want to see him clean that up just a little bit, but I'm honestly, making it seem like it's worse than it is. It's 43 victory, and we played really good. So all of this, if any of these things continue to go wrong, we could still win the Super Bowl. But they are important for us to clean up our game.
Absolutely. Let's go to you, Steezy. What did you not like about this game, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, we keep on talking about this, but once again, third down. Prior to this game against the Jets, we were all talking about how we'd all like to see Seattle convert at least 70 to 80%, being that it was against a winless team. And so I mean, yeah, while we are nitpicking here, 6 for 11 against the worst team of football, to me, that's just not good enough. I mean, we can still win the Super Bowl, but I wanted to see 80%. I wanted to see 8 out of 10. You know, I wanted to see 9 out of 11 on third down. And I understand, you know, we put in our backups towards the end of the third quarter, so maybe that number is a little skewed. Maybe if our backups didn't go in, maybe we would have converted about 60%. But nevertheless, I'd like to see that number much higher. Defensively, I brought this up a little earlier too. We had 3 missed opportunities at potential pick sixes or potential picks. And, you know, I get it. You know, these guys aren't wide receivers. I said that earlier, but at the same time, I mean, you can't miss those opportunities. I mean, what if we're playing against the Chiefs or the Packers, you know, and we have missed opportunities like that? That's going to come back to haunt us. You know, against the Jets, maybe not so much, but, you know, I'd like to see our DBs and our linebackers kind of work on their hands a little bit more. I know KJ definitely got it in him. He had that one-handed pick against Minnesota, you know, but then we did have that one pick where I think it was Poona Ford and KJ Wright fighting for the ball. It was in the air, and then they both went up for the pick. And so, you know, maybe a little bit more communication when it comes to tip balls. But yeah, no, they got to get their hands up. I mean, you know, because that's 3 missed opportunities. The score could have been a lot higher. It could have been a lot more reminiscent of what happened in 2012 against the Cardinals. You know, we could have scored 50 plus. And so that's kind of where I stand on offense and defense as far as what kind of went wrong in that game.
How about you, Seahawks Martin?
You saw that pick from Russ earlier. That was just not a good decision. I get that maybe DK could have, you know, jumped for the ball a little harder, like Norb said. But Russ needs to stop pushing balls downfield, especially when there's really good coverage. Like you saw that Jets cornerback, that was really good, phenomenal coverage, and he just lobbed it up there. And, I mean, it looked like there was no chance. So, I mean, that's obviously one of the reasons why Russell has thrown so many picks this year, more than he's ever had. So I hope that, like, he can play a little more safe. And I love him. Yes, I love him throwing the deep ball and everything. It's so awesome. But I want to see that when someone's wide open or at least has a little separation between the corner. But when you have a corner like covering Lockett or Metcalf super tight, why throw it up there? Because that's just a 50-50 ball. And I get DK super big and everything. But like Norb said, he didn't have that confidence that time. So I want to see Russ, if it's hard to throw it deep, play a little more conservative.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point. Coach Marsh, the negative takeaways of this game.
Yeah, so I want to preface this with, you know, no team out there is the 1985 Bears right now on defense, and no team is the 1999 St. Louis Rams on offense. And I think everybody thinks, you know, that perfection means that we have to be the greatest of all time. Nobody out in the league right now is doing stuff fantastic. Here's the thing that I get concerned about, and I don't know, and I think people are going to think I'm a DK hater because I'm not. I love the guy, I love his story, love everything about him. But I used to tell my players, I owe it to you to nitpick the little things, because it's going to keep you from getting embarrassed when we need a big thing and you mess up on a small thing. And it costs us a game in many different ways. So we owe it to you. Someone owes it to DK Metcalf to teach him, come up with a creative and original idea after you score a touchdown. Don't follow the shadow of some player who went up behind the cameraman and took the camera and decided to film something out on the field. Unoriginal, but it cost us, right? It cost us big time. And again, it didn't matter, but afterwards, I see Pete run to the sideline, run over, talk to him. And I didn't, you know, I was pretty easy going. You remember when we do the mic'd up stuff and everything, I was really easy going with my players, but I was disciplined from a standpoint of our players understood the situation, right? Like, we can't have dumb 15-yard penalties because you don't understand the celebration rules. Celebrate with your teammates, do those things. So it's not a thing where physically we can't do something, but we're doing things that are mentally, it's not even missed assignments. It's mistakes like that where it's like, man, we can laugh it off because we're up a bunch, but what if that was a windy, rainy game and all of a sudden our kicker, who I don't want to jinx, is put in a bad situation in a tie ball game or a point we need to go tie the game, and now we got a guy who celebrated too much and cost us a 15-yard penalty. So those are things, and again, I'm just giving that as an example. I could come up with 3 or 4 during that game that took place, and we seem to see that every single week where there's just a couple things that, man, it would just burn me as a head coach to have something like that happen. And I feel like at this point of the season, to not have learned those type of lessons yet, you know, when younger guys know not to do that. So I'd really like to see us clean that stuff up, because that's one of those times going to bite us. That and the play clock that keeps running down. And I know that comes up in the comments all the time, right? When we let that play clock run down to 1 second and burn a timeout and all those different things. We have got to fix that. We just cannot be burning timeouts. So no burning timeouts, letting the clock run down. And can we quit with the extracurricular stuff that costs us just dumb, untimely penalties?
Yeah, and I think in my book, talking about let Russ cook is that the antidote to the play clock getting down to 1 second is letting Russ cook. And that means letting him getting in charge and let him go faster tempo, maybe calling a few of his own plays, because it seems like he's always in the huddle and somebody's looking to the sideline going, let's get this play going. And then inevitably they're in the huddle with 15 seconds left, still haven't even gotten the huddle yet. By the time they get to the line of scrimmage, there's 8 seconds, and then it's like, oh my God, they're not going to get this play off. They're going to have to call timeout or something.
And Norb, I want to go back to the game against Minnesota. You bring up a great point. Back to the Minnesota game where they go for it on 4th and inches, we stuff them, and now we got to go all the way down the other end of the field. Most people in that situation think we better get a couple deep balls to get us down there. No one thinks that we can run a 7 or 8 play drive to get down there and have a couple shots at the end zone. I mean, we had a couple shots down there, and then we finally got it right at the end. We did that because Russ was cooking with high percentage, low, short passing game. So when he gets cooking, where most quarterbacks, when you give them the flexibility to call their own plays, they're going to call deep balls and try to create crazy stuff. Russ is at his best and creates those high percentage situations when we put him in a fast-paced offense. Because he wants to throw the quick ball. There's lots of management thing I think he loves doing, and you can't be the leader that he is on 2 quick plays. So that's you hit the nail on the head. I'd love to see us come out of a half or start the game, the first drive, and just let them go right into 2-minute and let's just boom, boom, boom.
I've been saying that since last year, I think.
Because the reason you do that is you keep their defense on what they're in. I mean,
yeah, they can't substitute.
All these guys have played sports, right? Even if you do it at flag football at recess, if you can get guys to quit, not substitute in, do it. And if ever there's a time, I know we'll transition to it. I mean, this week's going to be a big time week where they get into a certain personnel grouping or a certain front. We better keep them in that front because some of their other fronts are lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to definitely talk about that in a second. For me, that's one of them. That was a big one. Is just that letting the pacing get back a little bit up tempo, a little just quicker, and force the defense to kind of get a little tired, because when they have all that time to kind of rest between plays, they kind of catch their wind. And I think one of Seattle's best strengths is when they can just keep it going, step on the gas. The defense is just like on their heels the whole time, and they can really turn it up. I think the thing that for me is the thing that doesn't show up in the stats or the scoreboard, and that was the Jets could have had a lot more points early on in this game. They had 12 points that were off the board just because of missed kicks. I mean, just flat out misses. I mean, put any other kicker in that situation, they should have 12 points minimum. Maybe more if they could actually, convert on a few plays, and if they get a few. I think there was I thought the refereeing was actually very favorable to us, especially down the field, because I thought that the corners were very we were doing some mauling on some guys that we didn't get called on, and they got some calls on them that they didn't. I didn't see the penalty, so I thought they actually benefited us quite a bit, and it could have gone, it could extended some plays or cost us some. That might have changed the direction, but I think it was just that. And then there was the kickoff that was brought down to our 30-yard line. I've been saying all year, man, we should kick it to the 1 every time because nobody brings it out past the 25. Well, as soon as I say that, boom, they bring it out to our 30-yard line. It's like, oh, so much for that. In a day and age where it seems like it's impossible for teams to get to the 25, that shouldn't happen. I don't think. Statistically speaking, it's very hard for teams to score touchdowns now on kick returns. And that breakdown, again, in a close game, that could be the difference between winning and losing, or giving up, that field goal that would have cost them. And then my last nitpick was at the end of the half, when all we got to do is shut the Jets down, go into the half. What do? They break off a couple of big plays, get down in our territory in scoring territory. Again, they missed the field goal, so we didn't really have to feel the pain of it. But they should not have been allowed to get that far in. Whatever they needed to do on defense, that should not have happened. They should not have let the Jets get that far in. And in a better team, that's a touchdown or a field goal at least going into the end of the half. And so little things like that never showed up, but they could have shown up and possibly changed the start and the flow of this game. So we got away with it because it's the Jets. But if we play another team a much better team with a better offense and just a more disciplined team, that's going to cost us points. Probably a win or a loss when it comes down to it in a really tight ball game. So that, I hope, will not repeat itself in future games. All right, so we're going to transition here to discussing the Washington football team. But before we do it, we got to review our scores from last week. Did Martin have to go? I didn't catch if he had a...
Yeah, he had to jump off. He sent me a message. He had to.
Okay, I'm sorry. I would have grabbed his score prediction before he left, but I was too busy ranting, so I missed that part. But we'll go with what we got. But so as we always do every week, I take all of our score predictions for the previous week and I play them back so we can kind of hear who was on, who was off, and see who was the closest. Now we all picked the win, but who was the closest in the score? Let's find out right now. If I can find my thing. There it is. Here we go. The prediction scores from last week.
38-16 Hawks.
35-17.
I'm saying 27-10, and apparently that's conservative.
We're going to beat them 24-14.
38-10.
There we go. So, Steezy, with 38-10, you were the closest to the pin, my brother. You almost nailed it. 40, you gave the Jets an extra touchdown, which they probably should have had at some point, like I was just saying. And the Seahawks, we got 40. You said 38. Brian also said 38, but he gave the Jets 16. So you're the closest, man. So congratulations on picking the closest to the pin. Nice job, man. All right, so let's talk now about the real challenge ahead, which every game from this point on is going to be a challenge. But we're talking about the Washington football team. The Washington football team coming out of the NFC East. It's funny, the East is now kind of the division of two tails, because there was the NFC least rap that they got because every team out of the East started off so horribly. Just one of the worst divisions we'd ever seen. And all of a sudden, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Washington football team, I'm not going to include Dallas in this conversation because I don't think they are, but those other three teams out of the East, all of a sudden looking like teams that somehow in the second half of the season are just looking very different and a lot more formidable, at least from what we saw of the Giants. Yeah, they did lose last week. I don't know what happened there, but the Giants spanked us around. The Washington football team gave the Steelers their first loss, and they're on a three-game winning streak. Is that how many they've had now? Is it 3? I can't remember if it's 3 or
it's
whatever. They haven't
team
lost in a while, and they gave the first loss to the undefeated Steelers. And then the Eagles, suddenly now with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, I'm glad they didn't make the switch to Hurts when they played us, is all I'm saying. I'm actually glad they put him in for one play and then pulled him out, because seeing what he's doing now, woo, that's a tough team to suddenly defend now, because that guy can run. All of a sudden, we got Kyler Murray type action back there, something that Carson Wentz is not very built for, because he's always getting hurt. But we don't have to worry about the Eagles. We already took care of them. But now we're talking about the Washington football team. This is just a state of what the East looks like. So, Washington football team, guys, give us and everybody out there your overall sort of scouting report on what you see out of the Washington football team. What do we got to watch out for? What are we up against? Let's start with, let's go down from the bottom. Let's go Steezy on this one.
It will kind of similar to the Giants. They're well coached. Obviously, Ron Rivera, he's a familiar coach. We faced off against him. Going back to the Carolina Panthers and Seahawks days. In the last 4 or 5 years. So he knows how to play against us, and Peter Hill knows how to play against him. But with Washington, I think just a little better than New York. They're more underrated. They're not as underrated. I think they're properly rated. Their pass rush, oh my goodness. I mean, they're top 5 in sacks, top 5 in opposing yards allowed. They're top 10 in rush defense, top 8 actually in takeaways. This defense is absolutely ferocious. They haven't allowed 20 points in over a month. And, on offense, Alex Smith, he's, a very conservative quarterback, as you guys all may know. They lean on the run game, but this coming week, I don't think they're going to have Antonio Gibson, who's been quite honestly one of the best rookie running backs this season. He's dealing with turf toe, so I don't expect him to play, but they do have a solid stable of running backs. J.D. McKissick, former Seattle Seahawk, actually, has done a pretty good job of catching the football this season. Obviously, as we all know, Alex Smith is a dink and dunk quarterback, and J.D. McKissick is a perfect running back in that type of offense. And so they're able to run the football. they have a number one wide receiver in Terry McLaurin, who's been very quiet the last couple of weeks. And so I don't expect them to have some sort of huge game against us this week. But this team, like I said, well coached. They thrive on defense. And a lot of times when they score, it's off a takeaway or it's off a forced fumble or a strip sack or an interception. Their secondary is playing a lot better than a lot of people are giving them credit for. They lost Landon Collins back in week 7 due to a torn Achilles, but I think their other safety, rookie Camden something, he's been a force. He had a pick 6 last week. Chase Young, he's been a phenom. I think one of the reasons why the football team, their defense struggled at the beginning of the season was because Chase Young wasn't healthy. And now that his hip injury is fully behind him, we're starting to see this Washington defense fire on all cylinders. And so I think that this is going to be one of our toughest challenges up to date. I think that their defense isn't quite up to the Rams' level, but they're not very far behind the Rams. And I think that they're a lot closer to top 5 than top 10. And so, we're definitely due for a big test, and it's going to be tough, but I think that for us, if we're really Super Bowl contenders, this has to be a test that we got to pass, and this has to be a defense that we got to figure out. And so it's going to be a real close game. I think it's going to be low scoring, but we got to fight.
Yes, yeah, the defense. Can't say enough about that defensive front. Chase Young. Whew, I remember a lot of people say they want to get Chase Young in the offseason, somehow get him on our side, but we're going to have to face him. Let's go to the Squabo. Squabo, scouting report. What scares you? What should we worry about, the Washington football team?
That front 7. Steezy threw out all the stats, so I don't need to go into those again. But if we want to win this game, we are going to have to play really good and really smart against their front 7. Russell Wilson can't have those tip balls this week because this is a defense that if they get their hands on the football, they are really good at punching it into the end zone themselves, i.e. Chase Young this past week. We need to protect the football, and that's going to be a key when we get into it. But if we can dictate the line of scrimmage offensively, if we can have some semblance of a rush game offensively, and if we can not have Russell Wilson or running backs fumbling the ball from these defensive linemen, and we can control that turnover battle as well, that's going to be the biggest key for Seattle in this game. So just neutralize their defensive line, call screens to take advantage of their pass rushers peeling their ears back and getting too far upfield. So take advantage of their aggression, make them think twice about what they're doing, throw out some surprise plays, some quick plays outside that are going to get those pass rushers moving laterally, and let's just confuse them a little bit, because if their defensive line is able to dictate this game, that's the way that they're going to have a chance to beat us.
All right. So, Coach Marsh, how about you? What's your take on the Washington football team, the red-hot Washington football team?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm a huge Coach Rivera fan. I mean, I just spoke about the Chicago Bears a little bit ago. Here he's a Super Bowl champion from a while back. And everywhere he's been a winner, and he just seems like a winning guy. And then you look at the things that he's gone through this year. I mean, when he took over the program, just multiple things, and nobody really gave him a shot. And now look at him. I mean, he is creating a culture there that is phenomenal, and it has been forever since that program. And I always refer to teams as programs, since they've had a culture that's been, respectable, identifiable, positive, everything else. And that's all him. He took control of that team, and it's the first time in a long time that Dan Snyder gave somebody like full, actually full control. Similar to last week when I spoke about a new coach coming in and it takes a while to gather in those schemes. This is another one where a team that actually has a lot of talent is starting to figure out what is it that we want to do, what is our identity, and how do we do these things. And now that they're getting better at it, as Steezy said, they're better than a top 10 team. I think they're a top 5, potentially top 3 team on defense because of what they do, which leads me to the defense. My favorite defensive player all time on the field was Lawrence Taylor. Loved how he played, the play with reckless abandon, all those type of things. Man, Chase Young. I mean, this kid is off the charts, unbelievable. I think if he stays the next 5 years at the level that he's working at, he will already at that point be considered one of the greatest defensive players we've seen 5 years down the road. Because what he's doing this year as a rookie is unbelievable. And if you watch him make plays, I mean, he takes some angles. He made a play against Burrow against Cincinnati where he was off to the far side of the ball, far hash, and Burrow's sprinting to the opposite side, and how he got there, and the angles he took, you just don't see. I mean, it's unbelievable. Final thing, Alex Smith. Again, great story of him coming back, but he's the perfect quarterback for this team because he's boring as heck. And this, Coach Rivera wants that team that the quarterback doesn't mess up, let the defense do their thing. So Alex Smith comes in, he has 4 touchdowns in 7 games that he's played, right? He only averages a couple hundred yards a game. So he cooks a little bit differently than Russ, but he's the guy that everybody rallies around, and he just makes simple, basic plays, and he's not going to hurt you. I think he has 6 or 7 interceptions total. So he's going to let the running game take its course. Everybody's rooting for him too. So they got guys on both sides that are bringing personality out, man. Rivera, a defensive leader, and an Alex Smith, who's a veteran that's he gets it, like, just don't mess things up. This is a scary football team we're facing this week. Big time test for us.
Ooh, you got me scared. It's hard not to be from just watching what they've been able to do, but it's gone from, I think we're a little bit still somewhat shell-shocked from what happened with the Giants and that feeling we went to thinking, oh, we're going to just waltz through the easy part of the schedule. Suddenly now, this easy schedule, the only easy team was the Jets. Suddenly the Giants weren't easy, and now the Washington football team, not an easy team.
I tell you what, we have to know where Chase Young lines up. And I mean, I'm just telling you, he's a one-man wrecking crew. And if anybody who watches this show, watches NorbCam, go find a highlight video of Chase Young. Not college. There's highlight videos of him this year that are 2 and 3 minutes long. I mean, the guy is a freak of nature. And you watch him last week, how quickly, and I always like to see how quickly a guy can scoop and score. That guy drops down, grabs that ball. And those of you that remember Roger Craig from the 49ers years ago, he used to run with the super high knees. Chase Young is running with high knees. He's holding the football, like a claw, just cruising down the sideline. I mean, it's unbelievable, but he's super fun to watch. But see where he lines up, because he's in a 3-point, and then he's standing up, and his angle, I mean, just unbelievable stuff he does. Fun player to watch, the guy you don't want to go against.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, real quick, I want to recognize Aiden Pham just joined the Norb fam. So Aiden Pham with the Norb fam. Appreciate it, man. And I've got the list of all the Norb fam members of the MVPs and the All-Pros up there. Nick LeBeau, Anthony D, Jesse Duckface, Ryler Rockstar, Ninja CRK are the MVPs, and Maria Mirage, Jason E, Casey Sports Nerd, and Aiden Pham, the newest members to the Norb fam. So I appreciate you guys being on here. Thanks for the support. In the chat, Nick LeBeau says, don't sleep on Montez Sweat. We haven't mentioned his name as well. But yes, they're stacked. They are definitely a team on the rise. So let's go to what you just told about what's difficult, and Squeeze or Squabble, you kind of mentioned a few, kind of snuck your keys in there as well. But let's make this the keys. How do we, against a team, against a defense that is so good, how do we beat this team? What are your guys' 3 keys, or however keys you got? Let's start with Steezy.
One, we got to protect Russell Wilson. I think we got to have some max protections out there for Russ. Have our running backs back there most of the time, or more often than not. Have our tight ends kind of stay in, chip a guy, and then maybe try to sneak in a route or 2. But we have Russell Wilson. As I mentioned earlier, this team is top 5 in the NFL in sacks, and they could be a lot higher if Chase don't be all year long. Nick LeBeau brought it up. Montez Sweat, they're front 5 first-round picks. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, these are Alabama guys. They know how to play football. We forgot about Ryan Kerrigan. And that secondary is very underrated. Ronald Darby's having, I think, a career resurgence this year. I talked about the safety Camden Curl. He had an INT. He had a pick 6 last week, and so not only is their front 7 dangerous, his secondary is pretty underrated as well. So I want to see us protect Russell Wilson. We need to send extra guys out there to block for him. I mean, I understand last week we didn't allow Russell Wilson to get sacked whatsoever, but that was against the Jets, and we're not going up against the Jets this time around. We're going up against, quite honestly, one of the best pass rushers in all of football, if not the best. And so we have to protect Russell Wilson at all costs. Number 2, I think that we got to mix it up on offense. I forgot to bring this up earlier, but against the Jets on our first drive, we had a jet sweep and then an end around for Penny Hart and for David Moore. And for me, I was kind of surprised because we don't normally bring out jet sweeps or end arounds and stuff like that. And so I want to see us mix things up on offense. Obviously we've all talked about it. Washington's defense is elite. And I think that one of the ways that you throw an elite defense off balance is you kind of mix things up on offense. You kind of give them looks that you haven't, or you give them looks that that defense isn't used to seeing on film, just because we don't usually do that kind of stuff. But this time around, I want to see DK Metcalf on a sweep around, just because he's the fastest guy on our team, and quite honestly, one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And so let's mix it up on offense, run more end arounds, sweeps and all that. And Squad brought it up earlier, run a few more screens. I mean, that's how you neutralize the pass rush. Establish a quick passing game, a quick offense, up tempo. So let's mix things up on offense. That's key number 2. And then key number 3, let's play a clean game on offense. I mean, everyone alluded to earlier, Washington, they're top 7 in takeaways, top 5, top 10 in so many other categories on defense. And so if we're able to limit our turnovers, if we're not fumbling the football, if we're taking care of the football, if Russell Wilson isn't throwing picks, we should win this game. So key number 1, we must protect Russell Wilson. Key number 2, mix things up on offense. And then key number 3, play a clean game.
All right. All good points. Squabo, how about your keys?
The way I like to set up my keys, I like to set them up so that if Seattle does these 3 things, there is no way that they're going to lose this game. And I like to make them measurable, so after the game you can go back and check to see if they did all these 2 things and still lost, and they've been 100% so far. So let me deliver you these 3 keys for how we can beat this team. Number 1, we have to protect Russ, and I agree with Steezy on his keys. My keys are going to sound very similar to his. Because he's right on point. And in order to win this game, we need to win the sack battle. And that will reflect how much we're protecting Russell Wilson and how our defense is able to get to Alex Smith. And that's going to be a big thing for us as well, because we have the better offense. And if we win the sack battle, it's very unlikely we're going to lose the game. Another battle that we have to win, like every week, is the turnover battle. If we lose the turnover battle this week, that's going to be the main way that Washington stays in this game or has a chance to win this football game. So if we win the turnover battle, it's very unlikely for them to even keep this game close. Finally, we need to win the penalty battle. Outrageously, if we were to have a horrible game with like 11 penalties and 200 yards or 140 yards of penalties, that's one more way that Washington could stay in this football game. If we play a clean game and control the things that we can control, we're not going to lose to this football team. And that's why those are our 3 keys for this week.
All right. And I think, and according to the comments, I think Seahawks Martin might be in the waiting room, Coach Bill, so check that out. He might be able to jump back in just in time for our keys and score predictions, if that is the case.
Yep. All right, should be popping back in here.
All right, wow, he's back to join the round table just in time for your keys. Do you have keys to this game against the Washington football team, young Martin?
Usually I don't bring it out until Saturday, but first off, definitely what Noah said, we got to win the turnover battle, because obviously we always lose when we lose a turnover battle. It's just really important to, on offense, be careful with the ball, and on defense, try to take as many takeaways as possible. Against the Jets, we had 3 chances, and then we dropped them all. So defense needs to fix that, make sure they can intercept the ball, fumble the ball. And offense just needs to stop risking it all the time.
Okay, very good. And finally, Coach Marsh, your keys to victory for the Seahawks.
Yeah, first, I think Seahawks Martin's like Lamar Jackson last night, right? Take off for a little bit and then come back and finish the game strong.
I didn't take a dump, though.
I wasn't going to say that. I know that was all over Twitter, but man, it is what it is.
All right, so you got to go. You got to go.
You got to get the job done. That's all right. So here's my 3 things. And it's going to be not a repeat, but based on the 3 things I mentioned earlier. Something that's very rare, and that's with Coach Rivera. I want to see us make him coach. Meaning make some pretty big blunders, and you're going to lose me. I'll keep talking. He's been known to make some pretty big blunders when the game is on the line, when it's a close situation and he's put in a position where he has to make some significant calls. Now, we've been known to do the same thing. So it's a matter of, which head coach is going to make the smallest mistake when the game's on the line. So make Coach Rivera coach a game when it's going to happen, because I don't see this being a high-scoring affair. We need to commit 2 guys to Chase Young. Every single time we're throwing the ball, even if it means it's not quite max protection, but at least we're keeping a running back in. A lot of times our running backs will take off and head out into a route. I like us to at least chip him, meaning come shoulder to shoulder with him, hit him, do something before we take off. Make sure that guy is, not getting to our quarterback, that we're protecting Russ the way we need to. And finally, with Alex Smith, make him become a passer, meaning let's commit to stopping the run, period. If we put 8 guys in a box or whatever, let's stuff the run. And if Alex Smith beats us because he throws for 350 yards, all right, so be it. We have to trust that our DBs can be good enough, but if it means that our linebackers and D-line aren't getting to him. So let's commit to stuffing the run, making him a passer to make those things. So make Rivera coach a game, commit to Chase Young, 2 players, and make sure Alex Smith has to beat us with his arm.
All right. That's very specific. I like that. Mine are going to be ones that you could probably kind of copy paste into every game. That is keys. But really, almost every game there's, other than like something specific like 2 guys on Chase Young, some of these are universal. The obvious ones are numbers. Third down, efficiency, and turnovers. We got to win the turnover battle, as young Martin said. And third down, 6 out of 11 against the Jets is okay, but not good enough. Not against a team like the Washington football team. So we got to be definitely better than 50%. Anything less than that, I think, is going to be a long day. We talked about it earlier. I would like to see let Russ cook, not in terms of quantity of throwing, but speed of the game. Let the game flow through Russell, and let's pick up the tempo a little bit. Let's let them not have a chance to substitute. Let's get them on their heels a little bit, make them a little more tired by pressing on the gas and speeding through this game instead of taking all this time in the huddle. Because when we take a long time in the huddle, the defense gets a lot of time to rest. I'd like to see them kind of wear out that top defense over there. So let Russ cook, meaning speed the game up a little bit. And then finally, it's general, but execute. Execute. What does that mean? That means you do all the things that Coach Marsh said, the little things right. It starts first with no penalties. Minimize the penalties, because any great play negated by a penalty just can completely not only kills that play, it can drop you back and then put you out of a situation where you have a very low chance of even getting a first down. So penalties, executing also means doing the little things, making your blocks, making the effort play down the field. If your job is to hit this guy and keep him out of the play, well, make sure you go down there and do it. It's just those little things to make sure that, like you said, a bunch of little things add up to big things. So execution is all about doing all the little things right. And when everybody does the little things right, all of a sudden it looks like the greatest play ever. But it's just because everybody did their job. So that's the final thing. I think if we can execute whatever game plan they come up with, hopefully it's a good one. Every play is by design meant to succeed if everybody executes. So we've just got to hope that everybody can execute to the best of their ability and minimize those mistakes. So score predictions. Let's get back through this so that we can then get into the trivia, which was put together by KC Sports Nerds. So we'll start with, let's go with Squabo. Let's start with you. Work our way clockwise. Squabo, what is your score prediction for this game?
28-14 Seattle. We keep the momentum we built against the Jets.
All right. Well, Martin, where'd he go? Martin, hey, your brother's in there too. Hey, what's up, brother? Martin,
I have the Seahawks winning 27-21. It's going to be close, but I think the Seahawks will make one of those clutch drives at the end again.
All right, let's go to Steezy. Oh, Steezy, I got to shift you over. Hold on a second. You moved on me from a little screen shift. Hold on a second. Let's go. Well, sorry, I got to do a little adjustment thing here. Sorry, on the fly, adjusting. There we go. Steezy, what's your score prediction for this game?
I'm going to go 26-15 Seattle. I think that the Washington football team, they have one offensive touchdown, and I think that the rest of their points are by way of their defense. So I think that we're going to be pretty stout defensively just because they are pretty depleted on our offense, and I think that their defense comes over with the score. But I think that ultimately we come out on top, 26-15, and go 3-1 against the NFC Least.
All right. Coach Marsh, your score prediction.
Yeah, this is tough because I'm not a homer, so I have to base it on what I think is actually going to happen. I think we're going to struggle in this one because they're so high. I think we're gonna lose this one, 24-17. So 17-24.
Darn it, Washington. How could you, man? With the Seahawks halo over your head, you're going to pick against them.
It's going to win for me either way, right? I can come on the show and be like, hey, I told you. Or they win, and then I'm happy. Then I'm super happy. So I can't really lose, right?
I really can't knock you too much because I picked against our team as well, and I was proven wrong. It was against that team where we came back and beat the Cardinals the second time because I picked against them at that time when they were red hot. So it is very possible to stop a red hot team. We've done it before, and so with my score prediction, I believe it's going to be a tight game. Right now, it feels like we're kind of going into the mouth of madness, a defense that looks really formidable. But I think we're going to find our extra gear. I've been waiting for it, thinking that at some point Seattle's going to recapture that magic of 2014 and get that extra little kick down the stretch. And I think the Jets game, while it's only the Jets, I still feel like that marked the start of it. I believe it's going to happen here. And so I see in a tough physical game, the Seahawks come out on top 28-17.
Hey, Norb?
Yes?
Norb, so I went up to apparently I didn't see the red challenge flag, and we went up to the replay booth, and Metcalf actually went up after the ball, so there was a late pass interference down at the 1 yard line. So we got an extra play. We scored, went into overtime, and my score prediction is now Seattle 27, Washington 24 with an overtime win. So I don't want people to think like I'm not the biggest Seahawks fan ever. So I'm going to believe in our team, and we're going to win the game. So 27-24 overtime win.
All right, let me get you on a I got to get you on a close-up since we're doing a redo here. Challenge flag. We're going to replay the down. So
this is Norb and I did this for years. Okay, we're almost done. Well, actually, let's take 87 more takes until 2 a.m. till we get it right. Can you replicate what you did in the third quarter? It's like when we get the quiz question. 2012 replicate. All right, you tell me what you want.
All right, I just want you to get it because I got to get you on a close-up for the replay point. Give me your real score prediction for the Seahawks-Washington football team game.
Yeah, so again, based on a challenge flag that I didn't see on the sideline that got thrown, Metcalf did go up after that ball. There was a push. They looked at it. Pass interference got us down to the 1 yard line with 0 on the clock. It allowed us to run another play, and we actually just pounded the rock right down their throat and out their foot. And it got us a touchdown. 24-24, we win it on a Myers field goal. Seattle 27, Washington 24 in overtime.
Sounds like we better have our Tums and our antacid pills and our heart blood pressure pills because it sounds like it's going to be a not Jets-like game on Sunday. The relaxing feeling, that was a one-time deal. It's going to be back to the stress game. So, well, hopefully one of us is right. Hopefully one of us is right in this game. All right. Are we ready to do some trivia now? Let's do it. So, again, courtesy of KC Sports Nerd for putting this together. He did a really nice job. Whoa, hello. I just got all my windows closed up on me. There we go. All right. Hold on while I bring all my stuff back up here. Yeah, he did a fantastic job of just bringing everything out to just a good variety of questions and everything like that. So I'm excited to play this trivia here. So everybody get your Kahoot app, your Kahoot.com. And get ready for the number. I'm going to give it to you right now. Here we go. And here he goes. Bill, were you trying to say something?
Just look. We're good. You're good.
All right. The PIN number is 752-0532. Join up right here. You want to be part of the game. 752-0532. Come young, come old, come ye, come everyone. There we go. All right, the names are filling in. We've got Kofi Kingston and Go Hawks and DK for MVP. Hawks Mason, Schmilagad is back. Cameron Hughes, Aiden Pham, Kuya Bird, Colby Canales. Who else? Oh, where's the team at? Gotta get the team back in here.
Go Team Steezy.
Go Team Steezy. Norb's left eye. What?
Try me. Hold on. Fake goatees.
They're getting on you, brother. They're getting on you.
Carlos Dunlap.
This is as real as it gets, man. Hold on.
All right, I gotta get my Zoom screen back here. Where's everybody at?
It was frozen last time.
All right, it's got my the Zoom screen disappeared on
I'm
me.
gonna use
There
the
it
bathroom
goes.
real fast.
There it is. All right,
See you,
Norb's balls. Are you kidding me? There's always one. There's always. I'm waiting for the what's it? Norb's left ball or Norb's left nut or something. Gamer Guy, Giyu, Daddy, RuneScape, Let Bobby Cook, DK is Daddy, Daddy Marsh, who dat? Russell Norbson,
Hey, Marsh.
Brandon Rogers, Game Review, DK, Giants, KSD, 420. Norb's right nut. There it is. Love of my life. Steezy Mad Cute. Oh, you got a fan out there, Steezy. Oh, Steezy's not even here to hear it. Steezy stepped out of the building just when somebody said Steezy's Mad Cute.
Yeah, and I went ahead and coached him up and muted him.
Russ for MVP. We got 78 in there. 15 seconds left to jump in. Again, the number is 752-0532. Kind Rhino 61. Washington Foot. Do. Cool is cool.
Noah, can you check your Zoom chat?
No Nut November. Man, that took some thinking on that one. 88, 89. Oh, can we get to 100? Can we get 10 more to 100? We're like 10 seconds left. We need 10 more. Actually, like 11 more. 10. There it is. 89. Hey, Steezy, somebody had the name. What was it? Steezy's Mad Cute? Steez Mad Cute? Somebody thinks you're cute out there. I don't know what his name is, but somebody thinks you're cute out there. Norb's middle nut. 92 with 5 seconds to go. Can we break 100? Let's get to the century mark. Noah is so hot. We're going to get a bunch of everybody in there's hot. Hey, I'm sub to Norb. I like that one. All right, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's start this. Everything good? I heard you guys talking about the chat. Everything good?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 94 in there. And we're going to start this thing. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, again, trivia courtesy of KC, the KC Sports Nerd. Here we go. The usual format, 12 questions. Question number 1. Which was the most recent NFL team to win both the Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year? Saints, Cardinals, Chiefs, or Patriots? Which was the most recent NFL team to win both Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year? Saints, Cardinals, Chiefs, or Patriots? Saints, Cardinals, Chiefs, or Patriots? Time is up. All right, off to a start. 20 of you got this correct. The Saints get that claim. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard, starting with Steezy. Steezy, you there?
I actually didn't have an answer.
Oh, no answer?
I was I was going through the options and then time right now, and I was like, I don't have an answer.
Oh, that's very honest of you, but yeah. See, the delay of game, Steezy, for not letting Russ cook. 5 yards, repeat first down. Okay, so Steezy was no score on that one. Squabo.
I got it right. I can't remember exactly when it was or exactly who it was, to be honest. But I was looking at the options, and I'm like, Kansas City before my homeboy, they had a stretch where they were good, but did they have Defensive Player of the Year level of talent? Same with the Cardinals. I was thinking back. I can't remember. And I felt like the Patriots were bait, so I went with the Saints, perennial good franchise, and got lucky.
That's a good call there. All right, let's go to Coach Marsh.
Yeah, I had that one based on it. I couldn't remember the name of the players either, but I knew that they had it the same year at the same time. So,
all right, very good. Let's go with Martin.
Martin's one of the players.
I was thinking of the Saints because I knew it should have been Kamara and somebody. I was thinking either Lattimore or Cameron Jordan, but then I realized this is made by the KC Sports Nerd, so I was thinking the Chiefs because I feel like he might be a homer, and so it didn't work. It didn't work.
You went Chiefs. See, and not even before I had peeked at these answers, I thought there's no way he would make it the Chiefs because he's obviously the KC Sports Nerd, so it'd be too obvious for him to put himself and put his team as the answer to that question. So I would have gone the other way and probably went with it would have probably been between the Saints and the Patriots, but Saints the correct answer. So let's go to the scoreboard on YouTube. All right, NorbFam Nation in first place. Norb's Toilet in second. Noah is So Hot in third. Sky High Aviation in fourth. And G-Man in fifth. Next question. Number 2. By what name was Seahawks and Giants defensive tackle Robert Bernard known by? The Burner, Bobcat, Bernie, or Rocky? By what name was Seahawks and Giants defensive tackle Robert Bernard known by? The Burner, Bobcat, Bernie, or Rocky? The Burner, Bobcat, Bernie, or Rocky. Time is up. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised, actually. I thought this was going to be an easy one. This one was like, I couldn't even fathom anything but Rocky Bernard, but only 18 on YouTube. Again, we're going old school, so, it kind of explains maybe a few things. But let's go to Steezy. Did you remember Rocky Bernard?
Nah, because I said his name was Bernie. I honestly didn't even know who that was.
Oh, man. Going back a few years, did not get that one. Slow out of the gates.
You and me both, Cal. You and me both.
Uh-oh, so Martin admits not getting this one either. So I guess that leaves Squabo and Bill both with a point apiece. Squabo.
Well, I thought the Burner and Bernie were made-up answers, like if I were trying to, trick somebody. So I went away from those. Bobcat didn't seem accurate, so I went with Rocky and got it right.
All right, Squabo with 2 points in the lead for the time being. Coach Bill could tie it up.
Yeah, it was funny. As I was reading the questions, as you were reading it, I was trying to remember who, Robert Bernard. I didn't even recall us having a Robert Bernard.
Yeah, I don't know by his real name. It's always Rocky Bernard.
And then when you said Rocky before I saw the answers pop up, I was like, oh yeah, Rocky Bernard. I mean, I never even heard of a Robert Bernard on that team. So
exactly,
that was the no-brainer.
Yeah, I was surprised.
No brainer once.
It's showing our age just because we're the old guys here, Bill. That's why this question's so easy. For anybody born after the year 1980 something, they'd be like, huh, who's that guy?
Well, all these guys are like, what uniforms are those?
Yeah.
I've seen those uniforms before.
Well, although they've seen it from the highlights, and of course they played Madden, so they would have run across it, but they would not have run across Rocky Bernard, clearly, by the lack of knowledge on that question. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard and see how that changes things up. Is Noah still hot? Nope, Noah's not hot anymore. NorbFam Nation in first place. Norb's Toilet, though, is still hot. Sky High Aviation moves up to third. Cameron Hughes in fourth. And No Nut November in fifth place. That's probably one of the best, most creative time spent figuring out a name I've ever seen. Up 14 places, Cool is Cool is the highest climber. Next question. Number 3. What player on the Washington football team is known as the Predator? Antonio Gibson, Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, or Terry McLaurin? What player on the Washington football team is known as the Predator? Antonio Gibson,
Alex Smith,
Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, Terry McLaurin. Yeah, but you can't put the answer in the photo. Gibson, Young, Kerrigan, or McLaurin? Time is up. Whoa, wow. Most of the YouTube thought it was Kerrigan. I'm surprised after all the talk we said about how much of a beast Chase Young is. Only 30 of you got that correct. Let's go to the YouTube, or let's go to the panel with Steezy.
This was a gimme. I mean, we were talking about just how good Chase Young is. You talked about it. So, yeah, Chase Young.
Squabo.
I already knew this.
All right. Coach Marsh.
Yeah, my significant other and myself were actually watching some videos of him last night, and she asked, "Is he Red Predator?" Yeah, so yeah, it's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. Martin, no doubt about it for you? Uh-oh. Martin?
I'm tripping today.
Oh, Martin, something happened when he left the round table and left a few brain cells along the way from the encyclopedia. Didn't bring it back with him.
Not my day.
All right. Hey, it's still young, man. Remember, can you win the game in the first quarter?
No.
Just remember all that. Mm-mm. Okay.
Yeah,
it's young, true. Man. It's Chase Young.
That's right. Let's go to this YouTube scoreboard and see what happens in here. NorbFam Nation still on top. Norb's Toilet still in second. Sky High Aviation on fire with 3 correct answers in a row. Cameron Hughes at fourth. And Go Hawks into the top 5 at number 5. Next question. Number 4. Which player did Kansas City obtain from Washington when they traded Alex Smith prior to the 2018 season? Kendall Fuller, Josh Norman, Kirk Cousins, or Jonathan Allen? Which player did Kansas City obtain from Washington when they traded Alex Smith prior to the 2018 season? Kendall Fuller, Josh Norman, Kirk Cousins, or Jonathan Allen? Time is up. Oh my goodness. YouTube all over on this one. 46 of you got this correct. Kendall Fuller, the correct answer. Let's go to the panel with Steezy.
I say Kendall Fuller. I just remember when the news or when he got traded, I just remember looking at the package and seeing Kendall Fuller. But if you examine the rest of the options, you could just tell that Jonathan Allen, he was drafted by the football team. Josh Norman, he started his career off with the Panthers, and he signed with the football team as a free agent. And then the third guy, Kirk Cousins, obviously he was drafted by the football team. So
yep. All right. You know your drafts very well. So Squabo.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Without question. Coach Marsh.
Yeah, same reason that Steezy said in terms of just you could eliminate the others based on history where they went and who they were drafted by and such.
We got another super chat. Go Hawks.
Oh, we have another super chat. Who might that be? Who might that be? It's 12-Man Gaming Nation. Thank you for the support in the super chat. I appreciate it. Young Seahawks Martin. Do we have you off the schneid?
My gut was telling me Kendall Fuller, and then my brain was like, it's Jonathan Allen. I went with Jonathan Allen.
Oh, man. Hey, it's only the first quarter, man. How many times have we not scored in the first quarter and come back to win games? All right, there's still hope, my young friend. My young Padawan. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. Let's see how things change. Oh, NorbFam Nation still way ahead. Sky High Aviation, though, creeping up in second. Cameron Hughes in third. Go Pack Go in fourth. And Cool is Cool hanging in fifth. Next question. By what name was the Cowboys defense known as in the late 60s and 70s? Was it the Roundup D, the Destroyers, the Dirty D, or the Doomsday Defense? By what name was the Cowboys defense known as in the late 60s and the 70s? Roundup D, Destroyers, Dirty D, or the Doomsday Defense? Roundup D, Destroyers, Dirty D, or Doomsday Defense? Wow, YouTube pulling it out on the old school names. I like it. 40 of you guys got the Doomsday Defense. I have to be honest with you, I really didn't remember this one, like Steel Curtain and things like that. But let's go to Steezy. What you got?
I didn't remember, but I've heard the name float around before. And out of all those names, that just seems the most logical. So I went with Doomsday.
Okay, Steezy with 3, staying close with Squabo and Bill, who are at the top right now. Squabo.
I was trying to think about like what name. I was in a similar boat as you guys, but I was trying to think about like what name made the most sense for like. I could hear Skip Bayless saying it, just the Doomsday Defense, and I got it correct based off of that. I've also heard it around. I didn't know it, but
he took the Skip Bayless theorem and applied it to the game, and it paid off. It's not very often you play the Skip Bayless theory. Okay, Bill, did you even need the Skip Bayless theory for this one?
Well, I mean, you start asking questions from anywhere from the 1920s to the 1980s. I probably got a pretty good shot at it, and so I went with the and I knew it wasn't Dirty D's done dirt cheap. So Doomsday Defense is what it was.
All right, so staying on top, Squabo and Bill with 5 points each. Martin trying to get on the board. Does he do it here?
About dang time I got it.
All right.
Doomsday Defense just sounded the most logical, kind of like what Stevie said.
All right, so Martin scores a point.
So hard, man.
That's a solid nickname, though.
I thought it would be a Seahawks trivia. Got it.
Well, this is coming. Remember, this is coming from the KC Sports Nerd, who is a Kansas City fan. So remember that, guys. All right, so young Seahawks Martin scores a point in the second quarter. Finally gets on the board. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. NorbFam Nation hanging strong there. Sky High Aviation hot on his heels, though. Go Pack Go in third. Cool is Cool in fourth. And Cody Marmon into the top 5. Next question. Number 6, almost halfway there. Who was the first rookie to lead the NFL in rushing yards? Was it Edgerrin James, DeMarco Murray, Eric Dickerson, or Gale Sayers? Who was the first rookie to lead the NFL in rushing yards? Edgerrin James, DeMarco Murray, Eric Dickerson, or Gale Sayers? There's some great running backs on that list. James, Murray, Dickerson, or Sayers? Time is up. Oh, there you go. Eric Dickerson, the great. 30 of you got that correct answer. Let's go to the panel with Steezy.
Eric Dickerson. I mean, I kind of just knew this. I think looking back at the stat line, he had over 1,500 or 1,700 his rookie year. It was one of the two. So Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, Squabo.
I was following a different logic, and it misled me because I was going for the name that, like, you know, why would it be on the list? Edgar and James. I got it wrong.
Oh, okay. Wow, so this opens the door for Coach Marsh to take the lead. Does he?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, the pride of Southern Methodist University, and that guy was a freaking, those high knee runners, man. I loved watching him, and he was awesome to watch. Wore those goggles and
I was going to say the glasses or the goggles.
The glasses and the hairdo, and he was style when style was just coming out. So it was he was the real deal, fun to watch. Just wish he'd have been on a better team, but
yeah. Did he only play? I know he played with the Rams. How many other? Did he play for any other teams?
Yeah, I think at the end of his career he may have bopped
late
switches.
switches.
Someone will put it in the chat, but yeah, I think there was a late switch when he was kind of done.
Kind of like
those first few years, he was just unbelievable.
Yeah. Kind of like Emmitt Smith with the finishing up his season with the Cardinals. Everyone kind of forgets about it.
Yeah, just to keep running.
Yeah. So, Martin, what you got?
I got it. I don't know. They all look pretty close. Before the question even started, I'm just like thinking, is it Arian Foster? And then I see Eric Dickerson. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I love Arian.
The only one I had it when I first looked at this, I had between was Dickerson and Sayers, just because I know how great of a runner Gale Sayers was, but I could not remember anything about his rookie year. So that was really the only two I would have had it tossed.
Sayers arguably the greatest running back ever.
Right.
He did it in
but I wasn't sure if he did it in his first year, though. That's the question. The rookie year was the whole thing. All right, so to this YouTube scoreboard we go. No change. NorbCam Nation in first, Sky High Aviation in second, Go Pack Go in third, Coolest fourth, and Cody Marmon in fifth. All right, tight race. Here we go. Next question. Number 7. Florida Gator player Marco Wilson was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct during the LSU game this year for what? Helmet-to-helmet contact, throwing an LSU player's cleats 20 yards down the field, taunting at an LSU lineman, or throwing his helmet down on the field. Florida Gator player Marco Wilson, what was the penalty? Helmet-to-helmet contact, throwing an LSU player's cleats 20 yards down the field, taunting an LSU lineman, or throwing his helmet down on the field. Whew. Oh, wow. YouTube blowing it up there. 48 of you, no question about that. Throwing an LSU player's cleats 20 yards down the field. That's pretty good distance to throw 20 yards. Pretty impressive. Let's go to the scoreboard with Steezy.
I went with the no logic here. I saw that one, and I was just like, you know what? That's something I've never seen before, and so I went with that option.
All right, Squabo.
I watched the play, and I'm an LSU guy, so I was pretty happy.
Okay. Coach Marsh.
Yeah, I watched it happen live. Again, couldn't believe it. Just one of those, like, what are you thinking? Like, pick up the cleat, throw it down near the player. That's one thing, but to pick it, I mean, it is funny when you watch it, but it's like, come on, man. Like, it's a come on, man thing that they would have done. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
And you're just talking about the thing that drives you crazy as a head coach, right? There you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many other things you can do but to take the cleat and, I mean, intentionally throw it as far as you can and not think you're going to get a penalty for that.
Although it's probably not written in the book that says you are not allowed to throw somebody's cleats 20 yards down the field. So maybe you thought, I didn't see it in the rule book, so I should be okay with this.
It's actually Rule 27, subsection B.
Well, you would know.
Oh, man.
Just kidding, man.
Seahawks Martin, what you got?
All right, so I knew what it was, but then my brain thought too early, and I thought, throwing the helmet. So, I mean, I got to be honest here. And I did get it wrong. Even though I knew what it was, but I thought way too early. I did see it, but I got to be honest. I thought too early. So.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, man. That will get you farther in life than anything else. So appreciate your candid answer there. All right. So let's go to the scoreboard on YouTube, see where we stand. Again, no change at all. What is up? NorbCam Nation in first, Sky High Aviation in second, Go Pack Go in third, Coolest fourth, and Cody Marmon in fifth place. Next question. Number 8. Who holds the record for most recovered fumbles in an NFL season? Recovered. Brett Favre, David Carr, Roger Craig, or Len Dawson? Who holds the record for most recovered fumbles in an NFL season? Brett Favre, David Carr, Roger Craig, or Len Dawson? Most recovered fumbles. Time is up. Well, by a nose, most of the YouTube got this one right. 22 of you said Brett Favre, and we're correct. Brett Favre, the answer here. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard, the panel scoreboard with Steezy.
I might be mistaken, but when I saw Dawson, I just kind of thought that he was a defensive player. So I wanted to go with who I thought was a defensive player rather than two quarterbacks and I think an offensive player. So I went with Len Dawson, but I got it wrong.
Len Dawson was a quarterback too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Quarterback for the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs. Yeah. Then later went into broadcasting, I think.
Did Seahawks Martin just call out that he played for the Chiefs, and that's like back in the 60s? So Seahawks Martin, you can't claim things in the past. Can't be on these quizzes.
Yes, but he's the walking, man. He's the encyclopedia. He knows things before his birthday. All right, so Steezy missed that one, but Squabo, chance to tie Bill here.
I'll learn from my mistake. The one that I got wrong, I didn't go with a popular name, and I did here and got it right. Brett Favre.
Nice. Ties up Bill with 7 points, but Coach Marsh could take the lead again. This is in your wheelhouse, man. Do you get this?
Well, it is because, yes, I did get it because the real question is, who is in the top 5 all-time for fumbles from the Seattle Seahawks?
A guy with little hands.
For both recovering and causing the most and having the most fumbles.
Are you asking that? Or you just
guy by the name of Dave Craig.
Dave Craig.
I got Brett Favre, but Dave Craig is in the top 5 all-time fumbles and recovers.
Nice one. Wow, you just threw out a new trivia question right there.
Yeah,
Seahawks Martin, you know who Len Dawson is, but did you know that it was Brett Favre?
Yeah, I knew it was Brett Favre. He's the guy with the most fumbles. Okay, so it was definitely not Roger Craig, because the only thing I know Roger Craig from sounds like a name from Jeopardy. Then David Carr only played like a few seasons. And Len Dawson, I mean, I know him, but I don't know how many fumbles he made. And I realized, Brett Favre, so many fumbles, and it has to be him. So yeah.
Well, and when you just go by the odds, the fact that Brett Favre played so many seasons and so many games, the odds of him probably having a few fumbles and recovery are pretty good.
Doesn't he lead in interceptions too, or he's got to be close on?
He's got to be close there.
He's leading in interceptions too.
Yeah, because he was that's a gunslinger for you, man.
Yeah.
Let Favre cook. I think would have been a mantra back then.
Yeah.
If they had hashtags back there, they didn't have hashtags. It would have been # let Favre cook.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't remember actually. That was the thing. Before they had hashtags, it was the pound symbol, and so it actually is quicker to just say pound than it is to say hashtag. 2 syllables versus 1. They should just go back to pound.
And it drives my kids crazy when I say that to them. Like, hey, what does this mean when it says pound? Pound this or pound. Dad, it's hashtag. I don't get it.
Yep. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. We're closing in on the final quarter here. Oh, again, no change. No change. I wouldn't even list it because we've been stuck on this ranking for the last 3 questions. All right, moving up. Here we go. Next question. Question number 9. Who was the first player to lead the NFL in rushing yards in consecutive years? Bill Paschal, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jim Brown, or Joe Perry? First player to lead the NFL in rushing yards in consecutive years. Bill Paschal, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jim Brown, or Joe Perry? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. Bill Paschal, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jim Brown, or Joe Perry? Time is up. Wow. The name I couldn't pronounce was the correct one. Everybody went for the easy target, the Jim Brown epitome of greatness, but no, it was actually a guy who I can't even pronounce. Bill Paschal or Paschal. Only 6 of you guys got that correct, but let's see if the panel is any smarter. Steezy.
Well, it's not going to be me. I fell into the Jim Brown trap. So.
Yeah, I would have gone Jim Brown and LaDainian Tomlinson because I didn't know the other 2 guys. So I'm with you, man. So tough one there. Squabo, you know something we don't?
I said Brown.
You said Brown too. You fell for the trap. Now, Bill, Coach Marsh.
I went for one of Squabo's 28 different theories, and I landed on Joe Perry. So I was wrong.
Which theory was that? If in doubt,
it's the Pythagorean theorem minus 2 linebackers plus a pass down to the left side of the end zone. So.
and a turkey running 20 miles an hour. Okay, Seahawks Martin, did you get lucky on this? Something tells me no.
Just like Calvin, I fell into the Jim Brown. Why is this so hard, Lewis?
Yeah, Casey Sports Nerd, man, you went real obscure on this one. It's almost not even fair. All right, but it is his game, and we all fell for it. So let's go to this YouTube scoreboard. Something tells me somebody's going to miss something here, and something's going to change. Heads are going to roll. No, they don't. It's still tied up. How is that possible? NorbCam Nation on fire with 9 straight answers. The Sky High Aviation is second. Go Pack Go in third. Cool is Cool in fourth. Cody Marmon in fifth. I think it's just one player playing all these same places. They're all just answering the same questions for 5 different identities. That's got to be what it is. All right, let's go to the next one. Now we get into double trouble. This should start to break up the pack as we go to double jeopardy. Here we go. Worth double the points. Which quarterback had the most consecutive seasons of 4,000 passing yards through 2018? Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Which quarterback had the most consecutive seasons of 4,000 or more passing yards through 2018? Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Manning, Brees, Brady, Rodgers. That's what I thought too. Drew Brees, he is kind of the yardage king out there. Drew Brees, 27 of you guys on YouTube got that one. Let's see how the panel goes. Double points now. Steezy.
Make it 28. I said Drew Brees. I've seen Aaron Rodgers with a few seasons under 4,000. Peyton Manning obviously missed the entire 2011 or 2012 season, was it? And then Tom Brady missed an entire season as well. And he's also passed for under 4,000 yards multiple times. So last time Drew Brees did that, I don't even know. So Drew Brees.
All right, good one. Squabo currently tied with Steezy, but a chance to take the lead, actually. What you got?
Brees is the yardage king. I went with Brees.
He takes the lead at 9 points, but Bill could take the lead again right back. Coach Marsh.
Brees is the yardage king, but I was thinking,
we got another
guess
super
what?
chat.
All right, it says,
Hawks.
all right, in the super chat, and I will take a look. Zaders with the super chat says, what's up, Norb? How was your day? My day's great. We're having a great time here in a very exciting, tight match. Thank you for the support and for being here. I appreciate it. So, Coach Marsh, yes, the yardage king.
Drew Brees is the yardage master, but I was thinking it was Aaron Rodgers that had the 4 consecutive ones, so I missed it.
Oh, you missed it. Oh, so you didn't finish your answer. So I gave you 2 points. I false started myself, so you're back at 8. That puts Squabo with a 1-point lead. Martin, what's your answer?
I jumped the gun again. I need to stop jumping the gun on everything. I went with Brady, and then I realized, he got injured the entire 2008 season. And then, Drew Brees was my second choice, but I'm off order now.
Tough day for you. Tough day, young Martin. But that changes the game a little bit here. So 9 points for Squabo, 8 for Bill, 7 for Steezy, and Martin with 3. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. Can there be a change here? Oh my goodness! NorbFam Nation drops to 4th. Sky High Aviation rises to the top with Go Pack Go on his tail. Cool is Cool in 3rd place. NorbFam Nation, as I said, goes to 4th, and Cody Marmon in 5th. So it's same 5, but now NorbFam Nation drops to 4th. This is like a horse race right down the stretch. 2 more questions to go. Number 11, true or false? Your favorites. Arrowhead Stadium was not the original stadium name of the Chiefs. True or false? Arrowhead Stadium was not the original stadium name of the Chiefs. True or false? Arrowhead Stadium was not the original stadium name of the Chiefs. True or false? Time is up. Tight one, almost 50-50. False is the correct answer. 26 of you guys got that correct. You had to kind of think about it for a second because it was sort of a double negative the way the question is asked. Arrowhead Stadium was not the original stadium name. That means you're saying that's false, meaning that Arrowhead Stadium was the original name, which is what they're saying. And hopefully you guys all understood that. To the scoreboard to the panel we go. Steezy with a chance to tie Squabo.
I misread and misunderstood the question because I feel for that very, very trap that you just brought up, Noah. But I got it wrong because I said false, but...
Wait, you said false?
No. I said true.
Oh,
but now that I'm hearing how the question was actually supposed to be read or said,
Go
then
Hawks.
never mind. I got it wrong.
Oh man, tricky. It's tricky. It's a little unfair.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit feeling like, man, Casey Sports Nerd kind of got your head spinning a little bit on that one. Super chat, Sir Huntington Widget. Go Hawks. Big love from Newcastle in the UK. Wow. Sir
Awesome. That's
Huntington. That means he's knighted. I've been super chatted by a knight. Because if you're Sir something, you had to have been knighted. And I'm sure he didn't just make that up. So I have a knight.
Yeah, sir.
We have a knight in the round table.
The sword on the shoulders, like the whole deal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Okay, so Steezy fell for the question trap. The double negative got him. But did Squabo outsmart the outsmarter? That didn't even make any sense.
I got it right. Remembering back to some of Lewis's strategies in the last trivia, he went a lot of true false, and he tried to shake it up a little bit by doing the less likely outcome, and so I went with false.
Okay, so Squabble takes a sizable lead, but it's not necessarily game over yet because Coach Marsh could get a chance to get within a point. Does he?
Yeah, and I know all you guys are thinking that my sophomore English teacher said true, but that was 75% of the time, and I've yet to say false to anything, which is why I went false on this one. As well as I know the answer. I don't recall what it was originally called, but I know that because of my love for stadiums, that Arrowhead is not the long-standing name of it. So. But correct answer, false.
Okay. All right. So with Martin.
I fell for it. Man, this is just not my day. I'm having an awful day right now. Jeez, man. This trivia is killing me.
You know what? To your defense, you have been out of the game for a while. You know, you've been on injured reserve. You haven't been playing. You know, you got your game speed up to far. You're just now get back on the field, and you know how it is. You kind of have to get back to the rhythm of things. You know, you don't just go back in there and rush for 25 carries and 125 yards. You have to kind of work your way back into it. So it's totally understandable, man. You know, you'll get back.
You're on a rush count. You're on a rush count.
You're snap count. And apparently that snap count is 3. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard and see what happened. Oh, man, still tight, but we did have a change at the bottom. Sky High Aviation still in first. Go Pack Go in second. Cool is Cool in third. NorbFam Nation in fourth. And Cameron Hughes sneaks up into the top 5 at number 5. One question to go. Here it is. True or false again? Tom Brady is the oldest player to ever play of all time before retirement. True or false? Tom Brady is the oldest player to ever play of all time before retirement. Three seconds. And YouTube, a little bit more, less confusing question right here. That answer is false. Now, the big one would be, do you guys know who is the oldest one? I have an idea, but we'll get to that in a second. So, false. Tom Brady is not the oldest player. Let's find out if our friends on the panel know this one. Steezy.
I could be wrong, but I think that title belongs to Adam Vinatieri, so I said false.
9 points for you. Good, strong finish. Squabo. Here's where the race is. It's a 2-horse race at this point. Anyone's game. Squabo, if you get this question, you will be the outright winner. If you don't, Coach Marsh could have a chance to win. Squabo, what do you say?
Well, it's a shame he kind of had to end on a gimme because I had the same logic, same answer as Steezy and got it right.
So, Squabo, without even having to get to that game-winning question, he is going to win this game with 13 points on the board. So, man, congratulations, Squabo.
Where's the build-up? I thought I'd have a chance to answer, take the lead, and then he has to answer and then try to make it happen.
You're right. I should have done that. You're right.
Maybe the pressure goes on him, and then he gets nervous.
Yeah, you're right.
He goes through his 27 Rolodex.
I should have gone to you first. You're right. That's bad on me as the host. I should have built the drama more.
On Norb.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, bad hosting.
He threw the shoe 20 yards.
You're right. I threw it 30 yards, man. So, Coach Marsh, I think this goes without saying. You know this answer,
and I think Vinatieri might be the modern day answer, but I feel like it was like Blanda or Tittle or one of those guys from a long time ago that didn't retire from his position, but was a player and position player plus a kicker, and then stayed on as a kicker till he's like 46.
Wasn't Morton Anderson one of the oldest guys?
Yeah, Anderson was so it's a kicker that played.
He was he had a gut and hair was all falling out. I mean, he looked like he just got off the lazy boy lounger. Oh yeah, Jankowski. Yeah, he had shirts all tucked in.
He had a pony keg, underneath that stomach underneath that jersey.
Yeah, he could have been running to kick with a beer in his hand. It would have looked perfectly. Anyway, so a tight finish nonetheless. Squabo with 13 and Coach Marsh with 12. But let's go to Martin. Let's see. Can you finish strong?
I finished out. I didn't even see the question. So this is a great way to finish the Kahoot.
So you're saying you didn't even answer it?
I glitched out, so I didn't see the answer.
Oh, no. So, okay, well, you were on a snap count of 3, and I already said that, so, it's kind of fitting.
Hey, Nora, I think there's a couple people might be new there questioning on the points, because I don't know if you mentioned the double points in the final score, and I think they're wondering how Squabo cheated his way to 13 points with only 12 questions without people knowing that there's double points on the final.
Oh yeah. No, so
people said, "How do you get 13 points? How's that possible?"
Yeah, as I said, the last 3 questions are worth double. So instead of just 1 point, they're worth 2, and that's how we got to that math. No, it's correct. I would not let some cheating situation happen.
So what's the max? The max is 15, I think, right? Max total of 50 if you get a perfect score.
Well, let's see. It's never happened.
Seahawks Martin, that's a math problem for you. You can figure that one out.
If you had
do the math for us real quick on your calculator or something, we could.
If you had a perfect score on NorbCam trivia, what would your score be?
Wait, what did you say? I couldn't hear.
There's 11. There's 9 questions worth a point, right? And then the final 3 you said are worth 2. So
yes.
The final 3 are double.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. 12. Right. I think
12 questions. 9 of the questions are worth 1 point. So that's 9.
I heard 9 questions overall. All right, let me see.
No. There's 12 questions. The first 9 are worth single points. The last 3 are worth double.
So it's 15.
So math word problem. There you go. It's 15.
He went for 2-point conversion.
These are the math word problems that my kids hate. It's like, why do I always have to do these stupid word problems? Like, well, so you can actually apply it in real life.
I don't like word problems either. I know how kids feel, Norb.
So that is the word problem. So if you're playing NorbCam trivia and the first 9 questions are worth 1 point and the last 3 are worth double, how many points could you win if you had a perfect score? That is it.
And if Abker was here, our scores would be like 7, 8, 9, 5, and 8. Because Abker would steal some points here.
Yeah, Abker would steal some points.
True.
Okay, let's see. I've got to acknowledge Alina, who's got a couple of super chats. First, she says that Steezy is right. Vinatieri is the oldest, or was the oldest. So
older than Blanda? How old is Vinatieri? Because I know Blanda and those guys are guys in the upper 40s.
No! Correction! Challenge flag. New York just phoned in and overturned it. Alina came back with another super chat. She says, my bad. He's an active player. Retired is George Blanda.
George Blanda.
Woo, there you go. Bonus.
Blanda or Tittle. So coach wins 14-13 overtime.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it works that way, Coach, but nice try.
I'm trying. I'm working the officials, man. I feel like it's the old days, working the officials.
Yeah. All right, so there we go. So the final score, Squabo with 13, Coach Marsh with 12, Steezy with 9, and Martin with 3. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. Let's see how this final score turned out. On the podium in 3rd place with 11 out of 12 questions, Cool is Cool. In 2nd place with 11 out of 12 questions is Go Pack Go. And in 1st place with a perfect 12 out of 12, Sky High Aviation from the below. And NorbFam Nation is the runner-up in 4th, and Cameron Hughes at 5th, I'm sure. What an impressive score, man. That is good, though. That is amazing, though. 11 out of 12 for 2 of them, and 12 out of 12. That's crazy. How is that even possible, man? That is really impressive. That is really impressive.
He's something else.
That is something else. And that is, I tell you, Go Pack Go and Cool is Cool are new names I haven't seen before. But Sky High Aviation, he has rocked the trivia many, many times. So congratulations, Sky High Aviation. Man, you just have a way you got these things figured out. So, all right, we will be doing a fan panel, trying to get one later this week, and I will be getting like Rishi and Sky Aviation and Rohan, who's entitled to another appearance, to do a fan panel later on this week. So details to come. But that is it. Great show, you guys. Lots of fun. Good trivia. Again, thank you to Casey Sports Nerd for an excellent, very diverse, challenging trivia. Hats off to you, man. Good job on coming up with some very good questions that you didn't have to be a Kansas City fan to appreciate. So to wrap things up, I want to give, as I always do, give everybody a chance to talk about what they got going on their channels. So we'll work from top right to left, or go clockwise. To start with you, Squabo. What you got going? Tell everybody about what you have.
Still got to work on some content for this week. I'm planning on coming out with a video on how the Seattle Seahawks can still achieve the #1 seed in the NFC. It's still possible, and you can find out how on my channel.
Ooh, I like it. All right, let's go to Seahawks Martin. What you got rolling? What you got brewing?
Yeah. So on my channel, I just do what all of these guys do. I don't really dig into the crazy stuff, the really close stuff like Noah does. I just give you the general stuff. I give you some updates on latest Seahawks news, and then, oh my gosh, I can't believe what I said. And then I also every week do I should give you my 3 keys to the game to beat the Seahawks, and then after the game, I'll give you my post-game reactions. Everything that it's just like that every week. And since it's Christmas break, I really hope that I can post maybe a little more football comedy, because I really enjoy doing that. And yeah, but so subscribe down in the description, but subscribe to Noah and Cal and Norb first. Please subscribe to mine. Also, check out my brother's channel, ZR Sweaty. I just want to point that out.
What's the channel called?
ZR Sweaty.
ZR Sweaty? Sweaty?
Sweaty, yeah.
Sweaty. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I heard it correctly. Okay. ZR Sweaty. All right. Let's go to Steezy A. Smith. Tell them about what you got going on this week on your channels.
Yes, sir. So just a couple days ago, I dropped a video titled "Exposing the Seattle Seahawks," and doing pretty well. So if you guys could, head on over to that channel and run that up if you haven't already. Actually, had a whole bunch of dislikes as well, about 10, which is a career high for me. But in all honesty, I was kind of using the title as clickbait. Like, a lot of people in the comments were saying that, oh, you're a Seahawks fan, but you're coming around as a hater in this video. Or I had a lot of people trying to bring up this point and say that and say this and say that and trying to make me out to be a Seahawks hater. I'm not a hater. I got unconditional love for the Seahawks, and for me to point out some of their flaws, I don't think that's wrong. But if you guys haven't already, please be sure to check that out. I got an article coming soon. I've been telling Norb I will get on that real soon tonight. You can expect it by tonight. And we got a whole lot of content coming out. Baseball, the Cleveland Indians, that's no longer a thing. They're looking to change their name. And so, my baseball guy's going to come on and hopefully drop a video about that in the coming week. I want to drop, hopefully later this week, a fantasy football playoff video. I don't know how I want to angle it yet, but I kind of want to give some tips and tricks to having success in the fantasy playoffs. And then the NBA season's coming up too as well. And so I got a KD guy, the Brooklyn Nets, in the NBA Finals coming up as well. A whole lot of content on my channel. Be sure to show me some love. Before you do that, though, be sure to show Norb, Noah, Martin, Coach Marsh. Show all them some love first before you even get to me. And if you guys can follow me on Instagram at Steezy A. Smith as well. We're almost at 700 followers on there. And hopefully we can approach 1,000. Actually, no, that might be asking too much, but I won't be on the Bolt this Saturday on Noah's channel, but be sure to tune in there 10 a.m. to noon. And that's it for me.
Hey, don't worry about people giving you 10 dislikes. Wait till you predict someone to beat your Seahawks, and then the chat starts just blowing your name up like you're a hater and you hate the Seahawks and you're everything else. I've been going to games since 76. So.
They're just
I chose Washington.
It's silly.
People were saying I hated them, so funny stuff.
I know there are fans out there. You can't say anything bad about the Seahawks. You can't, like as exactly. If the moment you criticize anything and say anything like bad, they do. Well, you're not a real fan. Seahawks are blue and green until I die. Wait a second.
You can be realistic. Just don't be too pessimistic.
Just being realistic.
Yeah. As long as you're still supporting the team, that's the thing.
Heck yeah. 100% support.
And just so you guys know, that video, apparently the clickbait is working because looking at it right now, you do have the 10 dislikes, so you got 90 likes, but the key, 1,302 views. That is
sweet.
That is very good.
That's awesome.
So congratulations on that. So yeah, check it out. So it's well done, well edited, man. I like it, and I like your background too, the computer and the screen back there. It's good. You got some merch going on. Wow. So yeah, you guys check out his channel. Check everybody's channels out for sure.
Pop that Steezy merch.
Yeah,
please. I did drop some of the prices.
There we go. Christmas, last minute Christmas discount.
Yeah, holiday sale. He's got a holiday sale going.
Well, let's just call it that, because I did have someone in the comments also saying, "Oh, how much does it cost to make a hoodie? Because 50 for a hoodie seems a lot." And I was just like, 50 for a hoodie does seem a lot. So I did bring it down. So if you guys want to check that out again, I did that. So.
Yeah, but it's a Steezy. It's a Steezy hoodie. You can't just buy this at your local, Walmart and get it at discount prices. So you're supporting the local guys here. That's the thing, is that these guys we're not some fashion outlet.
Order. I got promo codes for y'all too. So, sorry, Norb.
No, it's all right. It's all right. All right. So
but if you guys hit me up on Instagram, I got promo codes for y'all, so you don't have to pay full price. But
there you go, promo codes. We like it. All right, Coach Marsh. I know you don't have a YouTube channel yet, but you got stuff brewing. But go ahead and tell everybody about what you got.
Lots of cool things brewing, man. I'm super excited. Going to be launching a lot of neat things on January 1st, 2021. Some things I'm working with Norb on. A lot of things really working with Norb, and also doing some accented stuff. I think that'll help with what everybody's working on. So really, really excited about that. And with 9 days to go until the big day and the holiday season coming up, everything else, 2020 has been absolutely nuts. And about halfway through it, I changed my mantra to living life one play at a time. So I hope everybody out there is thinking safe, being safe, taking care, loving each other up. It's just let's just end the year on a great note with our family and friends. I know it's going to be an odd Christmas season for people to not be people, but man, again, just one play at a time. Call someone, reach out to someone, and then lift these guys up, because they're fantastic. They're putting the ties on. Seahawks Martin showing up, doing his thing. We all love Norb. So just continue to build these guys up, and I'll be rocking and rolling with you guys in 2021 with some fun stuff.
All right. And so my final word is, again, please subscribe and check out all these guys' channels. We all are trying to find our way and make our voices and get our ourselves out there, and it helps to have viewers, jumping on. So please check out their follow them, subscribe to them, and do all that stuff. And so I'll have to do my own shameless plug as well. So I'm approaching big milestones in every platform that I'm on right now. So and at the heart of that, I am going to be giving an autographed NorbCam football when I hit those milestones. So the first one is the YouTube channel. 50K is my big. That's a huge milestone when I get to that one. I'm getting closer and closer at 45 point something right now. So a few thousand to go. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash the like and all that good stuff. Also, join the Discord, which there's a lot of guys in the chats who are part of the Discord. It's a great community for talking football and sports. And you get a chance to talk with me during the live streams. And it's free to join. Great guys running this thing. So check out the Discord. The link is also in the description. When we get to 2,000 members, I will also be giving a football away there as well. So it's a football giveaway for all these places. And then on Instagram, on my account, I'm very, very close to 10,000 on that one. So if you guys can hit me up on there, that'd be great. I'm only like 200 away. So that would be another huge one. Again, ball giveaway there as well. So, yeah, that's it. So, and then, of course, if you want to be part of the Norb fam, some of you guys joined just today, but we, in fact, are doing our first filmmaking and YouTube 101 webinar this Friday. So I'm going to be helping some of the guys who are in the MVP group. We're going to sit down and basically I'm going to be talking to them, finding out what they're doing with their channels, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help them, just like I've been helping a lot of these guys. Anything I can pass along with my knowledge of filmmaking and YouTube and all that stuff, cameras, lighting. But I do this for a living, so I've learned a few things over the years. So I'm happy to pass that on to you guys. So I'm excited to have this first one this Friday, and you can be part of that if you want to join the Norb Fam membership. So check it out. It's all in the description. And that's it. So more videos to come later this week. I'm hoping to have a collab with a Washington football team YouTuber to get behind enemy lines on that. And then, of course, come Sunday, we've got the big game, early morning game. So for us on the West Coast, 10 o'clock game. So
Speaking of behind enemy lines, if you ever collab with Tom Grassi on the in the playoffs, I really want to be a part of it.
all right. Well, we did collab last year when we played the Packers, and so I'm sure that if we meet up, I would like to think he'd be open to doing a collab. He's a great guy, huge following, very funny. I hope if we do end up facing each other, and God forbid we face them in Lambeau, I will certainly be giving him a ring. Hopefully we can collab again. That would be a blast. So that's it. I want to thank my guests again. You guys for taking the time out of your day to do this show. I really love your input. You guys are fantastic. And to all the viewers, those who super chatted, and just you guys who are here just to listen to what we had to say, greatly appreciate and love you guys. All right, let's go get that win. Go Hawks.
Do it.